Our next speaker is from the Southern California Pensioners. In 1983, he was elected to the Board of Directors of the ILWU Credit Union of Southern California, where he remains to this day. Prior to that, he served on credit union boards in Oregon. During Lewis's time at the ILWU Credit Union, it has grown tenfold, and it's ranked in the top 15 credit unions of its size nationwide. Lewis will talk about the benefits of belonging to a credit union as opposed to doing business with the same banksters and rip-off artists from the credit card companies that helped create the financial crisis that led to the numerous foreclosures on homes that were purchased by people just like us. His message will let us know we have an option of doing business with credit unions, with union workers, instead of banking with financial firms run by Wall Street. Lewis, please.
Thank you. I just gave away all my money. I'm going to have to go down to the bank here, or Wells Fargo, or unless I can find a 7-Eleven where I can use my card that says exactly what my T-shirt here says, ILWU. Now, 7-Eleven, I can get $1,000 out of 7-Eleven, so I guess I'll be okay for the next tarpaulin, and it won't cost me anything at 7-Eleven. So what I wanted to say was that we're all members of a union, right? And one of the main things that a union does is it negotiates our contracts so that we can get more money. That's what we're there for. Pork chop issues, that's an important subject. So I get better wages because I belong to a union, and then I turn around and I give that money to a bank where they make profit on it and take that profit and try to screw me. Make sense out of that. It does not make any sense, and it hasn't since 1934, when we both got the right to join a union, the right to associate, and the right to form a credit union. 1934, that was a big year when that happened. 1909, an American philanthropist, businessman, started the credit union movement in the United States. In 1890 in Canada, and in the 1840s in Germany and in England. But in 1909, this gentleman paid his women workers the same as he paid his men workers. He had a profit-sharing plan with them, and when he left this earth, he left in his will his plant to his workers. So this was a very unusual person. He put up $7 million of his own money. That would be well over $40 million today. And he started a movement that in 1934 was culminated with the Credit Union Act. Today, 1 out of every 4 persons in the United States belongs to a credit union. And every day and every minute of our lives, the banks are trying to screw credit unions. They have lawyers that do nothing but sit around and think, how could we do it to them now? And so we have a constant battle, very similar to what unions have. And we have a constituency very similar to what unions have. In the case of the ILWU, 9 credit unions up and down the coast. No reason for anybody here not to belong to one and not to use it. We have the membership of the ILWU. So the ILWU credit union's members are the ILWU credit union and ILWU union members. And because of that, we made a $5,000 contribution to the Ian Ruskin Educational Project, Harry Bridges Project, last year. And we're pledged to do that continuously. We gave $1,000 to the Long Beach Women's Shelter, protects battered women. We have participated in all sorts of activities in our community that help the membership of the ILWU, including telling them, come to us, make all of your loans with us, and if you go out on strike, we will suspend the payment on those loans. Now that's a powerful tool, because I remember in '71 and in the lockout that members were coming to the union leaders and crying. Wives, now, I don't know if this is true, but I heard wives were going to him and saying, you better get my husband back to work. The pressure was on the leadership. And if you have the ability to control the money that your union negotiates in their hard efforts, and have the ability to elect the people that run that, then you have the continual power of that money. And that's over $100 million in ILWU Credit Union Los Angeles. And the other credit unions is probably over $100 million too. So you see, we're a powerful group of people if we wake up and rub our eyes and get ourselves down to our credit union and move our loans over there and do all of our business with our credit union, then we'll be much more financially strong. I was in Australia a couple of years ago with some blokes from around here. And this guy came up to me and he said, hey, you're that guy who talked about robbing a bank or something, right? And I said, yeah. He said, hey, tell my friends what that was. So I said to him, well, if you go into a bank today and you're not carrying a gun, you better be prepared to get robbed. Because that's what they're going to do. And they're going to do like Wells Fargo, which is probably where I'll have to go to get some money in a few minutes, did with Pittsburgh Steel, California. They bankrolled that company's union busting efforts. We went up there by the thousands, if you remember, Pittsburgh Steel, and we tried to make ourselves heard. If we had all been putting our money in a credit union, as I'm sure most of everyone here did, we'd have been a lot stronger financially, a lot stronger. So my message to you about credit unions is if you would work in a place that didn't have a union, if you would cross the picket line, if you would do any of those things, you would probably put your money in a bank and poo-poo your credit union. But if you're a good union person and you're a person of conscience and you think about what your actions lead to, then you would try to get a better deal. I mean, I could be in jail and get $1,000 at all the jails are city run, right? They all have ATM machines there. They all have credit unions. So you can get money if you're in the can. You can get money if you're in Vegas. I live in Mexico. I get all my money at an ATM machine in Mexico. My banking is all done in Los Angeles. But it's all electronic, so it doesn't matter where you live. There isn't anything more convenient today than to do your banking at your credit union. And that's the responsible adult thing for us to do. And one day we're all going to be responsible adults. So that's my message. Join your credit union. Leave that bank behind. Thank you.
That's a great message. You know, we don't have too much time here, but I just want to say I ripped up 2 of my credit cards. I had one through Alaska Airlines and one through the AFL-CIO, oddly enough, but it was sending out advertisings for things like Home Depot and outfits like that. Well, if you remember Home Depot during the lockout, so I said, to hell with you. I sent it out. How the hell are you doing this for, AFL-CIO? So I got one credit card in my pocket now. It's the Waterfront Federal Credit Union in Seattle, Washington. A bunch of wonderful people are in the place, and you'll find that up and down the coast.